Hey there! If you work in a warehouse, you know that shipments come in all the time. But what do you do when a delivery isn't right? Today, we're going to talk about exactly what to do when items are missing. Let's jump right in. So, imagine this. A truck shows up, you're unloading boxes, but something feels off. The number of boxes doesn't match the paper. This happens more than you'd think, right? And as a supervisor, knowing what to do next is super important.
Okay, so here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll learn some keywords you need for your job. Then we'll go through the exact steps for handling this problem. And last, we'll talk about why this process is so important for everyone.
All right, before we get into solving the problem, we need to make sure we're all using the same words. Here are a few key terms that will help you sound professional and get things done. First up is the delivery note. Think of this as your guide. It's the official paper that lists everything that should be in the shipment. You're going to check all the items against this document. The delivery note will always show the quantity. This is a simple one. It just means how many. So if the paper says 50 boxes, the quantity is 50. Easy enough. Okay, now for a more professional sounding word, discrepancy. It just means there's a difference between what you expected to get and what you actually got. The paper says 50 boxes, but you only count 48. That difference is a discrepancy. A shortage is a type of discrepancy. It specifically means you received less than you were supposed to. So in our example, there's a shortage of 2 boxes. Now, this is a big one. When you think there's a problem, you have to verify. This means you check again very carefully. Maybe you even ask someone to count with you. You want to be absolutely 100% sure before you do anything else. The supplier is just the company that sent you the items. Simple as that. They are the people you're going to need to contact about any problems with the deliver. You know, finding the problem is just the first step. To actually fix it, you need to follow up. This just means you'll call or email the supplier to let them know about the issue and work on a solution together. You also have to communicate inside your own company, right? To report a shortage means you create an official record of it. This is so important for keeping your inventory correct and letting other departments like accounting know what's going on. Okay, so we've got the words. Now let's put them to work. We're going to walk through a real-life example to see how a supervisor should handle a shortage from beginning to end. So it all starts right here. A worker notices a problem. They see the numbers don't match, and they tell their supervisor immediately. That quick, clear communication is the perfect way to start. And here's the problem. You can see it right there. The official document says one thing, but what's physically on the floor says something else. This is that discrepancy we were just talking about. So the bottom line is, there is a shortage of 2 boxes. Now, 2 might not sound like a lot, but even one missing item has to be handled the right way to keep things running smoothly. So what's the supervisor's first move? They don't panic. They don't start making calls. The very first thing they do is verify. They double-check the count. This is so important because it protects you from making a mistake. Okay, the shortage is verified. You still need to sign for the delivery, but the key is how you sign. The supervisor tells the worker to sign, but also to write a clear note right on the document saying exactly what is missing. So, what's next? Communication. The supervisor knows they have to contact the company that sent the items. It's time to follow up with the supplier and get this problem fixed. And at the same time, the supervisor needs to communicate inside their own company. They'll make an official report right away so that management and other teams know about the situation. So let's just recap those 4 steps. 1. Verify the count. 2. Note the shortage on the delivery paper. 3. Report it to your company. And 4. Follow up with the supplier. Verify, note, report, follow up. Pretty straightforward. So we have the steps, but let's talk about why they're so important. Why can't you just make a quick phone call and forget the paperwork? Well, because as a supervisor, what you do really matters. It all comes down to one word: proof. Every time you write something down on that delivery note, in a report, you're creating a paper trail. This written record is your proof. It protects you, it protects your company, and it even protects the supplier by making sure all the facts are clear. If you remember just 3 things from all of this, let it be these. Your job really comes down to this. 1. Check carefully, so you know the facts. 2. Write everything down, so you have proof. And 3. Communicate the problem clearly, so it can get solved. So, we've seen how important clear communication is for solving this one problem. But it's not just about boxes, is it? It's about information. So here's something to think about. How can clear communication make every part of your job
and your team's job a little bit better.